Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text Larry Reid Live to 33222. That's the words Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222 and get notified when we go live. Become a member of the Patreon. Log on to LarryReidLive.com, click Patreon, sign up, download the Patreon app, and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
This platform discusses any and all information that has been made known to the public in any way. If the information creates convo that needs to be had, then it could become a feature story on the LRL platform. Now remember this, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a journalist. I am, however, a commentator. The information, all information shared here is always assumed to be alleged, but the commentary is always real. But then tonight that we have America's Black Prophet with us, we're literally going to be going into prophetic updates. If you have not seen any of part 1 through 6, you need to listen to part 7. I'm going to update you, and we're talking live on camera with none other than America's Black Prophet, the most trusted name in prophecy, Bishop Bernard Jordan. Let's go. All right, welcome to Larry Reid Live. It's time to have a conversation. Absolutely. Well, sometimes on the show we're talking about what's happening in the world of entertainment, politics, religion, the church, and then sometimes we have interviews. Tonight is a combination because we're going to have an interview or a conversation that I'm going to let you guys eavesdrop on with America's Black Prophet. That's what I call him. But he's been known for several years as your most trusted name in prophecy. His name is Bishop Bernard Jordan. He is the master prophet of Zoe School of Prophets and Zoe Ministries, and he is with us on today. This is part 7 of a conversation we have been having since the first week of March the 9th. The pandemic and the church. And if you have been watching, you have heard so many things that have probably prepared you mentally and postured your spirit and kept you informed before you heard it on TV or at the federal, state, or the local level. We still ain't heard nothing from these jokers. But anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. This is what I need for you to do. I need for you to click like, and I need for you to hit share. And if you are watching me, I want you to make sure that you're part of the text club. So soon as I am live on set, right before it, I can text you and let you know. Text Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222. And I also want you to become a part of Patreon, because in Patreon we have the conversation in a whole different way, and it's a live that we do through Zoom most of the time, an entirely different leg to the Larry Live platform, and you don't want to miss it. You can become a part by going to LarryReidLive.com. It's the best time because the first of the month. So you'll be charged right now, won't be charged again till the first of the month. Next month, that'll be August, going into the 8th month. And with that being said, if at any time tonight you hear something that prick you, maybe a laugh, education, entertained or empowered, make sure you support this platform. I don't care what it is, as long as it's 3 8s in it. $8.88, $28.88, $88.88, $808.88. But put 3 8s in there. And I'm going to explain to you later on in the show why 3 8s. And I'm going to say something about that a little later on. You can do that through Venmo. CashApp is on your screen right now, or go to LarryReidLive.com, click donate. You can do anything there, any size, any kind of tool you may want to use to donate, or you can mail in your donation. P.O. Box 244224, Atlanta, Georgia 30324. All right, it's time to have a conversation. Don't be selfish with this show tonight. Make sure you are sharing it out, because what you will hear tonight is going to impact you for the rest of this year and how you're going to posture yourself over the next 2 to 3 years. We have what I have been calling, and my God, is it not the truth, America's Black Prophet. Your most trusted name in prophecy. The bishop, the master prophet of Zoe School. He done brought you over. He brought you over before I even finished your thing. He already here, y'all. Here's Bishop Jordan. Hey, Bishop Jordan.
How you doing, Larry?
I'm so glad that you're here. We hear you loud and clear.
Am I too loud?
I don't think, for me, you're not too loud, but I don't know how you're coming through online. But that's fine, because I'm much louder. So
okay. Well, you know that's what it's got to be. Else it would not be a LarryReidLive show.
Right. Okay, so okay, what is that? What happened, Kendall?
Is
that you playing, Kendall? Hit it close. Okay, I don't know why there's an echo on him. Hold on. What's is that something playing through the system? Is that you playing, Kendall? Now say something, Bishop.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Is he echoing now? He's probably not. I made a mistake.
Okay.
I don't hear. He's still echoing?
Am I still echoing?
Not echoing on my end.
I don't hear the echo unless it's catching up.
Okay.
But we can turn us down here in the studio here.
I wonder, is that what it is? I need to turn my headphones down. Okay, that can't be it.
This is Bishop is echoing. How about now? Is that clear, Larry?
You're coming for me, so it's whatever's happening in out there, but it wasn't happening earlier, so I don't know what happened. Yeah, go to the click go to the sound up there to the top, right there in that square there. Check his.
Do I need the above? Because I put my headphone on here.
That may be what it is.
Let me put my headphone on.
Because you're not echoing on my end at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how's that?
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
Yeah, and the sound check, there was no echo. That was me and Legs though.
Right.
It's fixed now. You can just keep talking. We'll know.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. This is Bishop Jordan, your most trusted name in prophecy, and according to Larry, America's Black Prophets.
Okay. It's still echoing?
It's still echoing?
That makes no sense. Hammond, this didn't even happen in the sound check. Everything was perfection. And now we got a devilish echo. Let's see. And it's not on me. It's only on you.
On who, me?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is.
However.
There's nothing over here that would be causing the echo. So I don't know what that is.
Whoa.
Is it possible to, it can't be that it's too loud. Too loud is not going to cause an echo. Okay.
How about test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 right now?
All right, that's not.
Someone saying turn off the lapel mic. Let me try to go from a lapel mic to my to our regular mic. Oh, you did try the other mic.
Oh, that's what we was on? Okay, well the other mic, we didn't have no echo there.
Let me put a little lapel mic.
Okay.
Let's see if it's a little.
All right, while we're doing this, I need for you guys to hit like and to hit share because we're about to have a very intriguing and important conversation. And if you have been following this platform, you know there's been some key things that have been shared on this platform. One thing that we did hear from Bishop Jordan and his ministry is this book that popped up. Well, it's been out for several years, but when we started moving into these things, some of the students of Prophet Jordan members began to say, okay, this is what you wrote about years ago. What's the name of that book, Bishop Jordan?
The name of the book is Written Judgments.
Okay, Written Judgments. Okay, y'all let us know if the echo is gone now because I don't think that. Let me know, Kendall, because I can't really hear. It's still there? Okay, they're saying it's still there, but very little. Okay.
They said it's still there, but it is very little legs.
Yeah, just continue to talk. We'll be able to fix it.
Continue to talk. Yeah. So Written Judgments was written, the first volume, 1989, and the second volume, 1989. 1996 was volume 3, and 1998 was volume number 4. And those 4 volumes are now starting to come alive today. And there's not a day that does not go by that people are talking about something that's taking place out of Written Judgments.
Well, one of the main things that got me, that jumped out to me, was how specific it was about the time that was coming and the quarantine, the word uses of quarantine, curfew, from state to state, you would need paperwork because of the spread of disease, a disease coming out of China made in a lab, and how the funding of this manufactured disease was funded by other nations, and how all those nations shall experience this disease coming upon their shores and upon their land. I mean, and then the interviews that we did, you would get impressions and insights about the future. And all these things will begin to happen days apart, or sometimes maybe a week or two, which, since I've known your ministry, that is very, very different because you normally see way ahead and God speaks to you about the future years ahead. So what do you think is different about where we are right now, and even how God is communicating things to you now? Because I notice a shift or a change.
Well, I'm hearing a lot clearer now, but it could be because of the seasons I might be in. Like today, we're on our 11th day of our fast, and we've been 105 days of revival, where I've been prophesying every day. It's like anything else. If you are doing something daily, you become more and more proficient. Prophecy is the same way. The more and more you prophesy, the more accuracy that will come. And it doesn't mean that God didn't speak before. It's no different than when I walked as a child, as a 1-year-old. I'm a better walker. Well, I would not say I'm a better walker. I'm more skilled because of age. And by doing this for over 45 years, I have been prophesying with unbroken prophetic fellowship. That says a lot about the office of the prophet.
Yeah, I think it's sort of the same way and the thing that we experience when, with anything we continue to do and we continue to work, whatever mostly it is, it just gets better and better and better and better. One of the things is that's very interesting to me is the body of Christ or the church response to this pandemic. Aside from my show, a few people here and there, your ministry, I really haven't heard a lot of direction. And so it's very interesting to me to see a lot of church people struggle with how to posture and position themselves as relates to this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, when it comes down to having instructions and having wisdom about how to make life happen, we need to know how to lead from the future. Mm-hmm. Many people do not lead from the future. They lead in what they already know. So in this pandemic, there's a lot of things that are shifting and changing. You got to look at the shifts and change. In March, I told you that we would see our churches closed for months. Mm-hmm. At that time, we didn't even have church closings yet. Now it is 100 days in, mm-hmm. and many of our churches are still closed. Mm-hmm. We saw curfews. And if we can read out of the written judgments, I see something here in written judgment. It says communities quarantine.
Hold on for a minute, Bishop, because they're saying that this sound is still giving them. So is somebody else in the room, maybe, or if there's a. Are you on Facebook at the same time or something? I don't know what it is, but we just got to. I don't want nobody to miss any part of this conversation. Let me see here.
Let me see. I can turn on. Let me see. I just turned my phone off, so that's off. Okay. I don't think anything else is on my computer.
See, on my end, you're coming through clear, but it's the live feed, so it's got to be something on the end. But what I'll do, maybe we can. If you can mute yourself and call me on my phone, then we can still see and hear you. We'll just use the audio from my end.
I mean, mute. Okay, mute. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna mute everything here, and I'm gonna call him live from the telephone.
So people will still be able to hear your voice and see you too.
So we'll mute everything. Okay, I'll call into you right now.
Okay, all right, take a moment right now, you guys, and like and share, and we're going to get back into this conversation. Don't know what happened. This did not happen in sound check. Everything went wonderful, but I don't know what happened. It just happens. It just happens. Now, is the echo happening on YouTube as well? Okay, somebody said it. Yeah, I think it's probably the camera audio or something over there, but we're going to be okay. Now, you can still hear me, though, right, Bishop? Oh, no, wait a minute. He can't hear me. Come on, call me, Bishop. All right, so we're here, Bishop, and I don't know if you was on Zoom at the same time or what, but something was happening. I don't know what that was, but it was
Can you hear me loud and clear now?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, but hold on. Are you coming? You coming through my phone, right?
Yeah, I am coming through your phone. Okay. And are they still getting an echo?
No, they're not getting the echo now. Yeah.
But they're saying something about
Okay. So we good now.
Is the volume high enough?
Yeah. Now let me know if you guys can hear him now. There's a little lag. So it'll be a while before we can see them to say that we can hear. Okay, we hear him. Yes, we hear him. The echo is gone. Turn the volume up. No echo. That's good. Great. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna turn it up. Kendra, remind me that I'm turning this way up, because my next show I'll be way too loud for everybody and their mama and probably their past loved ones. All right. Okay. Okay. So I think I can take this. Why am I hearing you? It's like I'm hearing you through my headphones and through this. Oh, I know what it is.
I need to turn my mic. I need to shut my microphone down now. How's that? Is that much better?
You good? We can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. All right. So Bishop, when we had you here in March the 9th, you talked about the month of Sundays and things of that nature. Now we're getting close. You also shared with us about the month of October. The last time we was together, you spoke to us about the month of October. So now what we are hearing on the TV is that October is where they are expecting the second wave. Now they were not saying this before now. This is what they're saying now. But you were the one that told us that in October we're gonna get ready for some things that you were gonna see, because you was talking about around October the 5th, I think it was. You also spoke to us about a time that was in June, I think it was. And all these significant things have been coming forward, and we've sort of been able to prepare ourselves for what is to come. What do you see as it relates to where we're about to go from here, July the 2nd?
Okay, so we're in July the 2nd. I want people to get a pen and a paper right now, Larry, and I want them to take down some dates that I'm going to give them.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell them what I see in the mind of God and what I have perceived. What I will say to you will look at first like it might be a miss. And that's why the Bible says, write the vision down and make it plain so that people that run may read it. And what's going to take place is I'm going to give you some things, some dates in the next 5 minutes that you're going to sit on, but I'm going to tell you the word of the Lord is don't sleep on them. And before we begin to go into that, Larry, I think one of the things we need to have some respect about is that when God spoke, we talked about this virus being airborne when people were saying, we might be talking too much about this, blowing it out of proportion. And you remember when that season happened, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
And we also told the people that the church would be closed for a month of Sundays. And what are we looking at in some cities?
Yeah, exactly that.
And I want everyone to write this down, type it in the chat room. The brick and mortar is out of order. The brick and mortar is out of order. I also told the people in April, coming towards the end of March, the beginning of April, there will be false alarms, but do not go out because the restrictions will not be lifted. I just walked downstairs to see on the news, they're talking about putting the restrictions back in place for places like Florida and Texas. We also was on your platform where I told you I saw this going from New York, going down the East Coast.
Yes.
I told you about Atlanta. I said it's going to touch Florida, and then it's going to turn and start moving west.
Absolutely.
And God, for some reason, gave the pattern here on Larry Reid Live first. Mm-hmm. Well, not even first. Only on Larry Reid Live, because nobody else will have it.
And it's but when I look at the other platforms, ministries, and outlets, it was LarryReidLive. And see what happened during that time, and God set it up like that. The end of February going into, because you came here for my birthday in February, but after you left, it's like you were working, I was working, we was touch and go the last part of February and the first part of March. So us coming together on March the 9th on the show was really like a, hey, how you doing? Let's talk. So everything was like really fresh. Well, a couple of weeks, a week and a half before that, I was posting about, or maybe 2 weeks, but I know it was before they were saying on TV that this is a pandemic. We need to wear masks, and that it was airborne. Just the other day, me and you was on the phone about 3 days ago. And I said, Bishop, I've been saying all this long time, 6 feet. I said, but I really feel 8 feet. I said, so I'm going to start telling the people 8 feet. So I posted it. And then today they're saying, oh, now it's 8 feet, stay away from people. So I think it was the perfect platform for us to learn from a pop-up prophet, a master in the prophetic, an expert, the most trusted name in prophecy. I think it was a great platform for you to come. And I absolutely trust the wisdom and the prophetic that comes out of you. And every time you come up here, you give us direction. So I think it was a great platform, and I'm always have you here.
Yeah. Well, wait until they tell you how unsafe the air conditioning ducts are. You see, we're going to have respect for nature, and we have to respect that we're going to have to shut ourselves away and come indoors and begin to move in the capacity that God has called us to move in. So I told you about June. We are now in a season, in a cycle, where the numbers are supposed to be going down, Larry. Numbers that are not going down now is going to be hit very hard. Mark this date down. From November 26th to February 1st, around in that season. And it's going to be devastating. Because this is the season where things are supposed to be relaxing itself now. And then is getting ready to pick up and start to reverse in the month of October. Now, I'm going to tell you some things about October, but before I do in October, hear the word of the Lord. If any people have to take care of teeth situations, take care of surgeries, I had someone recently come to me and said, I need to get a surgery. I said, don't do it yet. I said, wait until after June. After June, I said, I'll give you the date to go. They went the other day. I said, go on this particular date, get the surgery done. They said, whoa, Bishop, my doctor told me it was just amazing. And they had their tonsils out and had that surgery done. Another person had to go for a colon test. I said, don't go in this date. Go right now. They went that past week. And what they thought was going to be colon situation, they said it was perfect. I said, this is the season now, between now and October 1st, to get anything surgical done. Go into the hospitals now. If you have to go. Dental work, root canals, take care of them now. Teeth cleaning, you have to take care. If you can do the proper hygiene with your teeth, go out and get floss kits, get electric toothbrushes, and begin to take good care of your teeth, because in this next wave, dentists are not going to be available. And you don't want to be in an emergency room trying to get a wisdom tooth extracted when you could have dealt with that in this season.
Okay.
This is interesting because some of this is just coming to me now. It's like the Holy Spirit's quickening stuff to be so. It's if you got to travel to loved ones that may be at risk or individuals that are near death doors, go visit them now, between now and September. After September, don't make those visits. And you will have some grace in that. But when you go, make sure you qualify the quality of the air that you're breathing. I also told you that I saw in America where it will be mandatory for everyone to wear a face mask. We haven't seen those days yet, but I believe they're coming based on what I'm seeing.
That's in the book. Bring the book over so people can see the book, Written Judgments. That is written in the Written Judgments. It also was what he, I'm going to say, God through him said in March concerning the face mask. He did. Bishop, you said something. And it's so funny because we've just had, this is why I wanted to bring you on, because yesterday we just had a record high of infections in America, almost 51,000 people in one day. And states are continually breaking records.
Oh, you haven't seen records break yet. Wait until around July 5th. July 5th through the 9th. Something else is going to break out. But let me say something else, Larry. This prophecy was written in Written Judgments, Volume 3, Community Quarantine. And it reads, this was written in 1996, diseases shall break out in many strange ways. A community shall come under quarantine, and the misery of pain and death shall walk their streets. I cringed as I heard their lament. O mountains, come fall upon us, for our pain is too great. How shall we continue to live? Death, O death, visit us now. Generations are dying, and entire bloodlines are cut off. We're going to see, because certain states didn't follow certain guidelines, where entire families would become extinct, and you're going to see it run rampant in communities. And so we are in a time of plague. Not only are we getting ready to see, it won't be just COVID. There's going to be an economic, a money plague that's going to come. There's going to be a plague that's going to come and judge education. There's going to be a plague that is going to judge the hospital system. Every system in America will be under judgment from now until the end of 2023. Now, in October, things are going to start to pick up, and it will start to be. Now, I don't care what the media call it. They may call it the second, third wave. They may still be the first wave. The second wave is going to hit October of 2020. But it won't feel like a second wave, because you won't feel it until Thanksgiving. And Black Friday will be one of the blackest and saddest Fridays that America has ever experienced. We will go through the Christmas holiday where it will be like a different kind of Christmas because of what's going to be dominating in the media. And this cycle is going to go until April 28th, 2021. And then we'll start to get a rest coming into to be like a norm like America has never seen.
We asked you a question. It started in Zoom, and Patreon on the Zoom, and then we done a live show, and then you brought it out. For those of you who may be coming on and say, well, some of what he is saying is already happening, but what he's doing is repeating what he was saying in March. So one of the things that you had said then in the Zoom, someone had asked you a question. They said, Bishop, when are we going to see this thing lift? And actually they asked both of us. And you spoke and said 22, 23, that's when we're going to start seeing a lifting. And everybody was like, what? And this is before we begin to hear this on the news. And then I said, read what you got to say. I said, what I see is in June or July, it's like they're going to be able to get hold of things. It's like they're going to get a reality on how they should move forward. And here we are in June, and that's recorded. And anything we're saying, you can go back and watch, and that is recorded. And we're seeing this unfold now. How important is it for people who are watching who may not be in church? I mean, most of us ain't in church no way because we can't go. Maybe they're not church people. They're not what quote unquote saved, but they've been feeling a tug that there's something to what's going on, and they feel like they're being called to look inside of themselves and be better and address some things. What would be your advice to someone like that? What do they need to do?
Well, I want to say this. I'm not a doctor, but you need to build your immune system.
Okay.
Get your immune system built. The health professionals that I've talked to, medical doctors, so I believe in holistic doctors and medical doctors. Anyone that has a respect for science, I respect them. One of my physicians has told me to take cinnamon, the cinnamon bark, put it in boiling water, along with ginger. So during the time of the pandemic, up until June, I was drinking ginger every day, ginger and cinnamon. Mm. And while I was doing the ginger and cinnamon, we had our whole house on it, and we were doing vitamin D3 to build the immune system. So what I'm taking now is vitamin D3, omega 3, and I do the cinnamon and ginger. I do ginger in a lot of my drinks, like my health drinks, my fruit drink. I do the ginger because that is, and it helps to boost up your immune system, and that has been a help and a strength. Several members of our church had gotten COVID-19, and we had people to come forth and share it, because what happens with this, Larry, and this is going to be damaging to our community, there's people that is walking around with shame around the COVID. We said, if you have it, come forth, share it with the community so the community can support you. And there were those that was able to get support. We was able to share with some because they came and told us. We were able to share with them at the time when it was difficult to get testing, where to go get testing at. Go to this individual, give this person's name, and they're going to get you right in. And that was vital. If you have symptoms, go get checked out. If they tell you you have it, let the people in your community know, I have been tested positive. Don't live in this world of shame and then quarantine yourself.
It's very interesting, Bishop, that you're saying that, because what I was saying on the news this week, and this is across all stations, that they really have a problem with contact tracing. One of the reasons we were able to get out of some of these plagues like bubonic is they were doing contact tracing. And it's like Americans are resisting to be traced. Back then, they go door to door, but now we have technology and they want to use the phones, and it's like Americans are resisting, and they're resisting the mask even.
America's resisting God.
Wait. That's a nugget. Okay, type that in there. America is resisting God. It's not the mask. It's not the 8 feet. It's not the stay-at-home order that they're fighting. This is not partisan. America and its culture is resisting God. Wow.
Yeah, it's resisting God. And when we begin to understand this, this is a season that we're called to begin to respect. And until America return back to God, everything that America stood for is now being judged. Is being judged for its religious freedom, is being judged for its treatment of African Americans, is being judged for every system of America is being judged. And until we understand this, that is coming up on blocks. So what is happening? I told you last time when we were here, watch out from the 17th to about the 19th or 21st or so, I said, June.
Yeah, I remember.
All of a sudden, we started seeing more statues falling than I couldn't believe.
You said that too.
And why is that? Because every idea that stood to mar the image of African Americans in America is now being judged. Now, wait until you look up and find the money is no more. What you are looking at in terms of your money, currency, I see that going out of circulation.
Well, this was in the written judgments as well.
Yeah.
If those of you that the book we're talking about is on bishopjordan.com, you're seeing it right now. Written Judgments, volumes 1 through 4. And I said this the last 2 times we were on. The next time Bishop come on, you'll be able to go to his site and click a link and get the audio, but we haven't done it yet.
But that's being released this weekend and tomorrow night, and I am going to stream it live from our platform. I will be doing the prophetic State of the Union address tomorrow, and it will be releasing times and seasons, so y'all are getting a little bit of a preview of this. But in Isaiah, if I may, Larry, 26 and 20, it says, "Come, my people, enter thou into the chambers, and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself, as if it were for a little while, for a little moment, until the indignation is past." So what we are dealing with in this season is an indignation, a judgment that is passing. And it is rage, it is anger, it's being acted out in the street. We are not supposed to be marching in the crowd. Why? Because we're supposed to be hiding ourselves. Let those that are supposed to march, march. But we need to be in our homes, praying and hiding ourselves, because what is getting ready to take place, we're not talking about just the falls of statues. We're talking about the taking down of major institutions are going to crumble before our eyes. And what I am feeling concerning law enforcement after the 4th of July in the next 72 hours is going to be a different conversation that's going to start to circulate around America.
When, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are watching, I'm talking to America's, what we call here America's Black Prophet. But he's the most trusted name in prophecy and has been doing this for tens of years here in our country and abroad, giving us light from the future so that we can live in our now a lot better. Make sure you go back and listen to part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's in the archive on YouTube so that you can be up to date. Make sure you follow the post here on Larry Reid Live platform, because although I'm updating you what's going on in the world, sometimes it's educational, sometimes it's just flat out just funny, laugh, and sometimes it is what's happening in our world. But there are times, especially this year, it's extremely prophetic, and in days these things begin to just, I mean, that thing about that 8 feet to slap me in my face, which is the reason why I've been having people to.
Oh, that's real, Larry. Listen, you had on those masks early, and people were laughing. You talked about it being like aerosol. Mm-hmm. You remember that? I remember you the first time I heard it. You talking about this whole thing being aerosol.
Yeah, I said airborne, and then later on they said aerosol, meaning droplets in the air. But now they say airborne.
Right, and you were talking about that even before they even put those two words together with that virus, with this virus. What we must begin to do is prepare ourselves for, we're going to see a new currency that's going to emerge. I prophesied that in written judgment. I believe we're going to see that in our day. We're going to see a new form of some changes that's going to happen in the power structures as is. We're going to be looking at new kinds of law enforcement that's going to take place in the nation.
That's in the book.
We're going to look at I'm just going to put this out here for the first time publicly. In 2025, we have to be prepared, because America, if it does not change her ways, is going to have her second civil war, but it's not going to come in the format that most people are thinking.
Well, you told me that in private. So that's what I'm talking about. There's something that is going on in our world that, of course, we can see that, but I'm talking about spiritually something is happening, because I'm just from the time I've known you, you're moving a little differently. And like the word of the Lord through you is moving a little differently. And I just hope everybody's paying attention. And if you've trusted this platform to always tell you the truth, to keep it real, listen to what I'm saying as relates to this prophet. This is a for real, show enough prophet. And I'm the things that he's saying. You know, I'm the kind of person that check behind people. This stuff is checking out to the day, back to back to back to back. Not just the book, you know, which I mean was to the T, but on the show when we bring him here, he's constantly giving us instruction. And I hope every pastor, I know you probably, you know, feel as though I ain't got to listen to nobody. I listen to my spiritual father, my prophet. Okay, that's great, but you need to listen to this one too, because yeah.
Well, you know. But Larry, Prophet Larry, I mean, you were in the inception when we were working on bringing the prophets together for a prophetic gathering, right?
Yeah.
And the prophets destroyed their own gathering.
Wait a minute.
Not the wicked.
Yeah.
The prophets destroyed their own gathering. Right. Why? Because right now, in this pandemic, what God was working on was bringing the prophetic institutions together in America and across the nation to be a think tank so that the people will know how to preserve. This was not supposed to come from one man. it was supposed to come from a body of Pentecostal, spirit-filled, tongue-talking prophets, that it was their hour to come to the stage and make their declaration to the world. They missed the conversation.
Now
Missed it.
I'm gonna say something here, and this is gonna be what it is. And I absolutely love everybody. That is absolutely the truth, Bishop. Because when we came together, the prophetic college, when we came together, you began to give instruction concerning the future, months out. Every time we meet together, you would give us instruction. And eventually, we began to focus on two things. And I want you to listen to these two things. The first thing that we began to focus in on was racism.
Yeah.
With the word network and what this owner done. The second thing we began to focus in on is a conversation that Bloomer brought into concerning this pale horse, concerning what was about. He was kept getting this revelation about this pestilence thing, which now you remember the conversations on the phone, Bishop, with him talking about that. Let me share with y'all. I think Reid was on the phone. Let me share with y'all what's been in my mind. So that prophetic community was already in the future trying to prepare bishops, apostles, and prophets for what was to come. And it wasn't supposed, I don't think it was supposed to be just Master Prophet Bernard Jordan releasing this, digging up this book again and now been the one that said it was supposed to be a few of us. I mean, Bloomer's doing it, I'm doing it on my platform, but I think it was supposed to be a community of us.
Yeah, well, when you look in the scriptures, it seems that the prophets traveled together in companies. There were companies of prophets. Even Jesus sent his disciples out by twos. And it wasn't supposed to be two people from your denomination. It was supposed to be something that was cross-pollinating. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, Larry, they kept saying, well, we're going to let the white guys come in. And I kept saying, not yet.
Absolutely. I remember that.
There was a reason, not yet. They said, but you're making it all black. I says, exactly. It needs to be that until some things are beginning to be straightened out. Now, when you look at the wisdom of it, it needed that in order to challenge America's original sin. And at the appointed time, there was supposed to be America's original sin, which is racism.
Yeah.
And so what happens now? The president holds up a Bible. The Episcopal bishop gets up and make a stand about racism, down with racism. The Pope, the Catholic Church who started this mess, amen, colonialism, kind of gave credence to it, said racism is a sin. Down. The Pentecostal Church has yet to make a statement about racism.
That's the truth.
There may be individuals in pulpit, but it was a moment that God was getting us ready, because all of us that was in that room was only one person away from the White House.
Yeah. And we actually was called to come. That's the reality.
Exactly. And now, no voice, mute. Why? God handed the baton and fumbled with it. Now, you got racism happening in Pentecostal, faith-based, evangelical churches at a level that all of a sudden black people are shocked about. And we were trying to tell you it's been like that all the time. So I know people get a little bit disturbed with me. They say, well, Bishop, this person solved the race problem. I said, what you mean? He says, well, they mixed marriage. Well, I said, do you think that if a white male is sleeping with a black woman, that the white male has solved the race problem, that he's no longer guilty of white privilege? And I've had a couple people say, yeah, he solved it. I said, then explain slavery, because there was sleeping going around there every day.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because we're mixed in the bed and mixed in the pulpit, don't mean white privilege has been abolished. Mm-hmm. And then one man in your own city got up and called it, let's not call it white privilege, but let's call it
white blessings.
The white blessing. Now hear me. There are white Pentecostals that will talk in tongues with you, that will believe that slavery was a blessing because their ancestors has benefited from it. And when black people join their church, they want you to bring the Hammond organ with you and your tambourine. Why? Because your enslavement is still the white blessing. Because our music moves their feet, moves their people, moves their dollars, and move our dollars out of our community
and into theirs.
Still sustain white privilege.
Yeah.
So now what we are dealing with in the black Pentecostal side, for those of us that are wealthy preachers, those of us that has driven in Rolls Royces, rode in Rolls Royces, that live in beautiful homes, that have the privilege of social distancing and physical distancing. Some of you are more socially distanced than physical distancing. Black privilege is just as oppressive as white privilege.
Absolutely.
And why is black privilege getting ready to come under judgment? Because you came into success and left the masses behind. How dare you? And that is a thing that's going to be under judgment as well. Some of us are muted. Now, I had some people say to me, says, Bishop, someone said to me just recently, says, well, Bishop, this is an hour for the street to make their noise. We got to understand that we can't allow others, they don't need, they said there's no celebrities really out there. That's because it's their march. I said this never should have been their march. It should have always been our march. And that's black privilege speaking out of you. Because there's no there. It's no us in it. See, many people live in a world of you or I, but transformed people live in the world of you and I. And what has happened is, what black privilege has meant, is that they live in you or I, not you and I.
That is true. So the racism, the pandemic, what's happened economically, all of these things are signs or that will earmark the change of the world that we have lived in up until now. I remember you saying that 2020 is going to show us a whole lot of things, but one of the things it's going to show us are the leaders that's not leading us into the future.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to 2018 when Leandria Johnson went live on her phone and she went ballistic. And she began to say, basically, in her way, that the church needed to get together, be real, not be false, And also it was telling people that it was false, and she was on the inside of it and seen it, and everybody just didn't know. And that really began for like a year for this platform, for like a year of nothing but week after week after week, one church, one preacher, thing after thing. It was early 2018, it was June 2018.
But you know what, Larry, I'm gonna say something else too. Let me speak on both sides.
Okay.
We as black people have not protected our own institution, which is the black church.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it wasn't for the black church, we would have never had civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
And the black church kind of been like the one institution that has emerged without a lot of white input.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black churches rose up out of not getting a handout, but working with what the community had. My issue with whether it's artists or people that all of a sudden say, I don't do church no more, is that you got your lift from church. Where'd that come from? Oh, they're telling me mute the computer. Oh, I think we found the problem.
Oh, really?
Oh, it went through the computer. Okay. So, what happened was that you got your lift from the church. You was blessed through it. You learned how to sing in the church. It was the church that was used as the tool to bring together where you can go into these places and sing, and into the hotels, and yet we have faulty individuals in the church. Yes, we have men of God and people that have led in the church that has been corrupt, but we have people that have led this nation and been corrupt. We have doctors that have been corrupt. We have dentists that's been corrupt. But what we've done in the black church, we're going to need the black churches, because what I saw, the voices that will speak for you in the future will not have God in mind. And they'll become the new voices of black people. That movement is going on right now. You're going to have people that will be raised up, not by God, but by the dollars of your new oppressors, that will become the voices of your people, and you'll begin to say they don't sound like us, they don't have our best interests, and they'll bring everyone's agenda on your back and leave you as the permanent underclass to stand on. We got work to do.
Yeah. So what we're not saying is that this is the stuff that we have seen in our community, including the black church, that we should not speak on it and correct it. But what we are saying is that the black church is still necessary in our community.
Most definitely. Listen, I don't care how corrupt the church has been. My tithe has never left the church. I don't care how corrupt the church has been. My tithe, my love for the church has never left the church.
Amen.
It just never has, and it never will, because the church gave me the life that I have. And I'm not talking about the life of a preacher, but gave me the first words to connect me to our Father,
oh God,
which
yes,
art in heaven. That has a value. And if you don't believe it has a value, you meet some of these people today that's never been in church. I have done funerals for people that have never been to church. And Larry, listen to me. It takes them an hour to line them up just to march into a funeral home, because they lost they never got the discipline on how to be a community.
Yeah. That happens in the church.
That happens in the church. The church teaches you how to stand. The church teaches you how to sit. And the church teaches you how to walk. The church teaches you how to talk. As a child, you'd be up there saying your Easter piece. You're learning diction in the church. You're learning character in the church. The church was that institution that you sent your children to on Saturday, and they were in the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, junior choir, whatever play that they were doing. There was always something to do. The church, in a lot of ways, gave people the arts.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes. Us artistic people, we learned how to use our gift first at church. The church gave us an opportunity to do it even when we weren't even that good.
Yeah. So our faithfulness to the church, and so when you get a lot of those of us that came into wealth and then seemingly left the church, forget leaving the church, those same people have left their community. Mm-hmm. And they are busy building the communities of others. I think we talked about this in your last show. Mm-hmm. The black dollar circulate 0 to 1 times in the black community and only stay for about 6 hours. Mm-hmm. The Hispanic dollars 6 to 8 times, I believe it is, in the community. The Asian dollar, much more, like something crazy, 14 times. You can get this online. The white dollar exchanges hands unlimited times and spend at least 31 days in the community. So when we hear stimulating the economy, you are building white privilege. And that is why I've made a call out to our brothers and sisters. Black people do not belong in white churches in this hour. You're gifted. You need to be returning home to your community. If your brother be weak, strengthen your brother, and you need to be bringing yourself, black, into your church, into your community, and strengthening the faith of your community. It's time to return home to Jerusalem.
Okay, I'm going to repeat what Bishop said in the public in front of everybody. Not scared of nobody. This is with over 3,000 people watching on YouTube and on Facebook. He wants to say to the black community that if you are in a predominantly white church or led by a white church, I think that's what he's saying. And
if you're led by a white pastor, you have to ask yourself why.
Okay, Bishop is saying, take your black dollar, your black money, get your whole hand up at that church and go find you a black church. Get off that plantation and go find you a black church.
And I've had some people say, well, Bishop, what about white folks? You have white people in your ministry. Should they leave your ministry? I said they can. But they can also stay. Why? Because their community is in surplus. When you are in surplus, then you're supposed to let it flow over and strengthen other communities. But when your community is not experiencing surplus, you need to go back and strengthen your brother until your community is strong enough to have those kind of surpluses. And if we look at this, Larry, if our community would pull together as a community, we will have not only a stronger community, but a decent tomorrow. And we wouldn't have black people say, when they're asking a young black man, what do you want to be when you grow up? They would not have to say alive.
Alive.
Exactly.
Well, Bishop, what about those black people who feel like God called them to white churches to serve?
You have to ask them what God, see, first of all, that's like the God of your oppressor. Because why would God have you to, think about it, serve a white man? Think about that for a moment. That sounds like colonialism. That's why your Christianity needs to be decolonized.
Yeah.
Jesus says he came unto his own first. First to the Jew, then to the Gentile. You've got to complete your first steps first in your community. I had a woman call me not too long ago and says, Bishop, I've been listening to you. I've been on a revival. She serves as an elder in a church. She says, I need to return home. She says, well, I'm going to hand in my papers, and I'm going to resign from the church that I'm at. I says, what is it? It's a white church. She says, I know I'm a token there. If you know you're a token there, why would you stay there? That's abuse. Well, they were using me. Think about it. We live in, they're using me. What is black privilege? Black privilege is when you take compliments of saying either I was the first one to get there or I'm the only black that is there.
Tokenism and fetishism. A lot of black people have mistaken that for authentic white love and authentic white respect, when actually it is tokenism and fetishism. When you find yourself in that space and in that place, do you do what your spiritual daughter did? Remove yourself from that, just detach? Is that what your advice will be?
Yeah, they got to decolonize. First of all, anyone that does not see when I went to Israel, they had different pictures of the Madonna and the child Jesus. Every culture has a Madonna, a Jesus that looks like them. Until you can meet a Jesus that looks like you, you have not found your faith. And many of us that are listening on this call today, you are worshiping the faith of your colonizers. You have yet to find Jesus.
Oh my God. I was telling somebody that I felt as though the Christianity that a lot of us follow here in America definitely is a Eurocentric Christianity as opposed to us really authentically being in relationship with Jesus and what he taught. Do you find that is a true statement?
Almost definitely. We worship. See, when I went to Greece, I was in Greece for about almost a month because I was doing some papers there. And while I was in Greece for school, I went into some of the Orthodox churches. I got confused for a moment because all of these images of Jesus were black. And the mother of Jesus was black, was a black woman. That's very different than when I went into the cathedrals in America. Yeah. And that's when I began to say, hold on, there's two kinds of Jesus here in the world. There's the Jesus that is the liberator, and then there's the Jesus that is the oppressor. One Jesus put chains on you and singing, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. While there's another Jesus that frees you. Are you worshiping the Jesus that frees you? See, the Jesus that frees you would get you out of churches that are ran like plantations.
And sometimes those churches ran like plantations are ran by black people.
Of course. Listen, Larry, before the night is over, if I be a prophet of God, you will get a phone call from someone that would say, what is Jordan talking about, Larry? And they'll enter into a conversation with you. And there'll be some white guy that will say, you know, I love black people. When you got to say, I love black people, that's racist. Because you should love all people. I don't walk around saying, I love Korean people. I love Australians. No, I just go and embrace them as they are. But when you put that extra love on the word black, that lets me know you are exploiting me, using me.
Manipulation.
You're guilty of tokenism.
Yeah.
Manipulating me, using me to finance and continue to hold up white privilege. And what happened is we have a lot of black preachers that are on that circuit, the plantation circuit, that is securing black white privilege, and they will allow them to be privileged blacks and will tell you in the back room you're not like them until you have your Negro wake-up call, which you will have before the end of the year. You know, I kind of felt, when I looked at that interview, I kind of felt for Lecrae. I felt for the artist Lecrae, and I said, he had to sit there in that interview, and I forget the man name from Chick-fil-A. Now, the man from Chick-fil-A is a very wise man, but I think Chick-fil-A had already been through some of their episodes, so he already, you know, as a corporate businessman, has had sensitivity training.
Yeah.
That conversation got so sensitive that he kind of just looked down. Lecrae, although he was saying no, his head was shaking yes, like, yes, master, yes, master, yes, master. And then he had to come off and do an interview off the thing because the strength wasn't there in him at the moment to say, man of God, I love you as a man of God, but right there, that's the sin that has us in captivity. Let me talk to you about what slavery was. And you tell me it was the rape of my grandparent, a white blessing. My fathers and brothers hung, white blessing. Beatings on my black back, white blessing. Syphilis in a community, white blessing. Separation of parents from children, white blessing. Working in America for free labor, white blessing. Then if that's the case, as a preacher, you have just showed me every time there's a white blessing, it signifies a black curse.
Yeah.
I can't go with that.
No.
But I realize he's probably got to go sing on the plantation.
Yeah, most of his sales come from white America, white the children of the white evangelicals.
And that's why it's a call for him to come home.
Yeah.
See, the call to come home is to get reconnected to your roots. It's almost like Sankofa, return back. Amen. It's a call to the return to come home. Come and rediscover your faith. Come and rediscover the essence of why you were born. Come and rediscover the purpose of why they loved you, or rather, loved your gifts, but never really cared for you. Come home. See, that's what that's about. Come home. And then once you get a free-speaking black that can speak his mind, they demonize that one because they don't need the others on the plantation ever think they can think freely and get away with it.
I asked
the reason you have Bishop Carlton Pearson.
I was just about this. I would say that I asked Bishop Carlton Pearson, did he think that one of the main reasons why he was assaulted and disregarded wasn't just because of what he was saying, but because he was a free-thinking black? He said it quickly, yes.
Yeah, because the Pope said that hell wasn't real. And the Pope didn't have no outcry.
No.
This preaches that preaches universalism is not a new doctrine. It's been around for centuries. Now, I'm not saying I believe in it or not. It's not a matter of what I believe. But the fact of the matter is they made him an anathema.
And we followed it. White people told us. No, white people.
Y'all followed it. I did.
What I said we. I got you.
The
white people that gave him his black privilege once he became a free-thinking black, the white people said he's wrong. And then all the black privileged people said he was wrong. It's like we followed Master still. And when the reality is, a lot of these black preachers now are really preaching what Carlton Pearson preaching, and they're calling it grace.
Exactly. They called it grace, but he came out of our community first, trying to get us to look at something, and we turned him into an anathema. That's our sin, for not searching out and saying, you are my brother, you love God, let's see, can we raise our intellect to differ, and neither one of us lose our faith. Where are you getting this from?
Yeah.
What's making you speak like this? Come on, let's talk. And, we had Bishop Pearson come and speak at our church a number of times after that. People still got saved and filled with the Holy Spirit. I mean, when will we be able to grow up to think and have a difference of, or not even a difference, have free-thinking blacks among our own people?
Yeah.
I mean, this is really dodo that we let a Christian newspaper determine who our black leaders are.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one of the things that, and see, I see when I go back at the prophetic college and what has happened over the last year and a half, I see how 2020 has really brought all of these things to the forefront, about the economy, about racism, also about the church being divorced from science when our God is omniscient. It's bringing everything to the forefront. I think this is the prophesied time that was written in the written judgments concerning the quarantine and the curfew. And I think from the government all the way to our community, everything is being judged so that we can become what we need to become. That's what I think. Even as relates to this eating thing, we've been speaking a whole lot about our immune system, but you've also been talking about what we're eating, moving to a plant-based diet. In your book, you mentioned about meat being called off of the shelf is a sign that we need to begin to move to plant-based eating for a while, coming off beef and red meat for a while.
Yes, and when that was written, says when you hear remove the beef off your shelves, come into a plant-based season, plant-based diet for this season. Now, your Food and Drug Administration is getting ready to be judged. Whatever your medication is, if you can, get it, make sure it's stopped in about for 6 to 9 months. Why? Because there's going to be scarcity. It may not be the scarcity so much of the medicine, but there's something is going to come that's going to affect the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would not be surprised if America doesn't experience her first major earthquake or something that is going to shake the infrastructures at the core over the next 3 years. We're getting ready to come into some dark days of this nation. And in the written judgments that talk about that I shall bring the eagles to her knees, I didn't know that coming to the knees, every time I see the protest and they start kneeling, the Lord says, the prophecy about America coming to her knees is starting to unfold. And Larry, we have got to be prepared. I told you in 2019, in 2020, we're going to see who will not lead us. Leadership tragedy and calamity, the experts rises as heroes, and all of the frauds get exposed.
All of the frauds get exposed.
This will be the year. I'm going to prepare you, Larry. Let me prepare you. Over the next 6 months, you're going to find yourself pulling blanket back on leaders that were supposed to be in place that will be no more. And it for some people it's curtains, the show is over. We're going to see a change in the way education is going to take place. We're going to see a change in the way technology is looked at. Also, if you are, now is going to be the time to get your technology upgraded between now and October. Because there's going to be the breakdown of technology. Communication is getting ready to have a breakdown that only those with high speed will be able to survive the breakdown that's going to come in technology. Also, I want to prophesy to you, you're going to start to see the depopulation in major cities. They're going to be, I saw people exiting out of the city, and I saw the prices of real estate falling at record high momentum. And you're going to find people running into rural areas for fresh air. Watch this. They're going to be running into rural areas. People that used to move in places for work, they're now going to be moving in places looking for clean air. And that's the word of the Lord.
And that's the power of prophecy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is part 7 of having America's Black Prophet, your most trusted name in prophecy. Bishop Bernard Jordan here on the platform. And if you heard something tonight that impacted you and touched you, I want you to make sure you take a moment and support this platform. You are the reason why that this platform is able to stay free and clear and say and do as it does. So up under your screen, take a screenshot, and what 3 8s, 888 or 2888, 80888, it doesn't matter, but make sure there are 3 8s in there and support this platform, or go to LarryReidLive.com and click donate. You can give any size donation there, or mail it in at P.O. Box 244-224, Atlanta, Georgia 30324. All right, last words, Bishop. Oh, let me say this. Bishop has been doing, in his ministry, has been doing 24 hours of prayer, prophecy, and also moments for you to sow your seed. And listen, this has been going on since the beginning of the pandemic. And every night at 12 midnight, there is prayer, I do believe. And you can call in anytime. It's going on right now, but he's up there from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and then 9 p.m. to 12 midnight every single night. Call 515-604-9266. 515-604-9266. All right, Bishop Jordan, parting words.
Yes, and follow me on Facebook. Find my real Facebook page, and I will be doing this prophetic State of the Union address on tomorrow night at 9:00. You don't want to miss that, and I will be unfolding some other things and some dates. And I want to also let you know that if any of you plan on moving, if you plan on relocating, you're in the window of relocating now, that move needs to be set before October the 6th, the latest. You want to get in places. When you get into those places, stay put. And Larry, I want to thank you for who you are. I look, if you were not around, there would not be a platform for us to come to as believers to have this conversation. This is why God called you out of the church to be the church. I'll say it like this. He called you out of the church to be the church. What has happened is we are sitting in colonial churches. That is that German word, Kirke, K-I-R-A-K, K-I-R-A-K. And that church, Germanic, comes from the Germanic word. That church actually means building. Jesus never came to set up a building. He came to set up the church, the ecclesia, which means the called out one. And what happened is you assembling this platform, you assembled the called out ones outside of the system of the colonizer. And I will say to you, continue being the church, and I want to call my brothers and sisters that are out there to support LarryReidLive. I don't care what you've heard. He's one of ours. We claim him as one of ours. He comes from our community. He's a black man. He loves God. He's one of ours. And if we start kicking ours away, then you'll never have a community. And so support pastors, support. You know, you give to the United Way, you give to the cancer centers, you give to the Red Cross. Support Larry Reid. Why? Because if you look, your black talk radio has gone away.
You prophesied that when you were on the Wendy Williams radio show years ago.
Yes, I prophesied that to Wendy Williams. I prophesied it to some of the the black radio stations. I went and told them. I says the curtains are going to be closed in America on black talk radio. Now, the prophets told us that the revolution would not be televised, and it won't, because the revolution is going to be streamed. And when we begin to understand what God is doing in this hour, Larry Reid is our talking drum. It's a place where any of you can come. If you have the facts, he'll post the story. He don't go out and make the story. He's not an ambulance chaser. He goes out. If you bring him the receipt, he's going to sit there and say, this is what the receipts say. Don't get mad at the media for what you create. The media is not your problem. You actually need media for your liberation. See, the killing of your media is the work of your oppressor. And so, support. Now, he doesn't ask for a lot. I can't believe his Patreon is like 40 cents a day, whatever it is. It should be at least $1 a day. But Larry is Larry. But this media platform needs to be supported. It's not backed by oppressive commercials. It's not taking the money out of the community. A matter of fact, when you support LarryReidLive, and he didn't bring me on here to say this, I'm saying to you in my prophetic authority, when you support LarryReidLive, you keep the black dollar in the community one more time. But when you give that black dollar into a white ministry, how many black ministries do you see those white ministries investing in that is actually supporting the movement? You can hardly get a white preacher preaching Black Lives Matter, let alone support it. Listen, I don't have time for that today, but all I will say, we've got to start supporting our own. And until we support our own, we'll never be anything in America.
Thank you so much for saying that, Bishop. I'm going to make a clip out of that and put it on IG.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
We need to get the people knowing how to support. And when I get off of here tonight, I will be supporting. I mean, see, we don't support each other. That might be why Lecrae is where he's at today. Now, because y'all make other people's music go platinum, and you steal ours. Listen, you do each other in, just like the College of Prophets. We did. I'm going to put myself. We did it in ourselves. Right? You don't need the oppressor. Willie Lynch says if you do this for 1 year, they'll never trust each other, and they'll do each other in. They'll pit one against the other. They'll pit the old against the young. They'll put the son against the father, the mother against the daughter. They'll put the light skin against the dark skin. They put the nappy hair against the straight hair. They'll get the educated against the uneducated. We do ourselves in. Black people, it's time to return home.
It is.
Those churches that have built their cathedrals, they've made millions. They're flying in private planes. Listen, they're living well. You need to come home and demonstrate that your black life matter and that black lives matter when we begin to take care of each other.
You said, before you go, Prophet, Leandra is texting me while while you're talking, and she's like, "Oh my God, oh Jesus, oh my God, wow," and she's listening.
She's got to be rebranded. See, Leandria has played to audience. She's got to now know how to speak to people one-on-one. God's going to show her how to deliver without feeling the energy of the people. You see, we're in the season now of the reinvention. Anyone that doesn't have a prophet is a king without a set of eyes. And the king without, like right now, President Trump, he just needs a set of eyes. He just says whatever comes to his mind. He needs a set of eyes. See, if he had a listening ear, I would have told him, don't open up now, open up after Father's Day. And you're going to get a good break until about August and then start to tone it down. And tell your stores they can be open, but no air conditioning, only fan. Do that for a season. It would have helped some of the restaurant business and brought America in somewhat of a safe zone. They wouldn't have had to go into mandatory masks by August. I just heard August. But because they did not do this in the seasons and timely matters, now the states, hear the word of the Lord, just start writing that down. The states that are going hot right now are going to hit numbers like they have never experienced before. And what you're going to see is when you start seeing the colonizers' babies die from the pandemic. You're going to start to see a new America form. And don't believe the lie about this is not affecting the children. Hear the word of the Lord. The children have their day coming. It is sooner than it's thinking, because the virus is mutating and getting ready to come for the young. I'm telling you, hide your yourself, because what's coming, it's almost, there's a window of grace, but it's almost too late. And you watch the numbers that come out now, Larry. I'm telling you, we discussed it. We talked about it. I prayed about it. I've been in a season of fasting. And what is coming, America is not ready for her day.
So, being that we have a prophet who is telling us what is to come, we know what to do. So, we take precaution. I've been saying it in a funny way, to listen to your spiritualizations. Don't listen to nobody on that TV, da-da-da-da-da. But I mean what I'm saying. Listen to science and to the prophets and what you feel in your spirit. Protect yourself and be led that way. And know what is to come. And of course, those of us that do that, we're going to be all right. We'll live through this to tell the story. Thank you so much, Bishop. Now what did you say? Now, I want to make sure Leandra heard what you said, because she may not never be able to talk to you. I want to make sure she heard what you said.
She's got to get ready for a new season, because she's got to reinvent herself. And she has to learn how to deliver herself through the physical distancing platform and not be in places where she has to feel the audience. Her shift in her work that she's got to do, with the proper coaching, she'll be okay. But it's just not her. There's several artists that I see right now that are listening that has got to find a way to reawaken their gifts. But they've got to find, watch this, listen to what I'm saying. They got to find where their fans are and give the fans what they want.
Oh my God.
That's what I hear the Lord say.
Leandra, that's the word of the Lord.
All they have to do is fish. Now, I coach a lot of different celebrities. I've coached many different people from behind the scene. I'm up at night prophesying until 3 in the morning. Larry, I've even had you on the phone saying, you hear me prophesying to people at 2 and 3 in the morning. Is that right, Larry?
That is absolutely true.
I know we're putting our business on the street, right?
Right.
But I'm a prophesying, and you're hearing me prophesy to these people, right? I am, because what happened? If you don't reinvent yourself in this season, you're going to not only be pulled out of this season, but you're going to be pulled out of life totally. God never brings a season in without giving a plan to his elect. I've coached celebrities what to do. I've coached people that are in acting what to do. I got people right now that is actors, actresses, that have gone into right now, Larry, voiceover business and it never crossed their mind. But today, they have built a whole career in audiobooks.
Yeah.
And every one of you that's listening to me, don't go back into the brick and mortar. Type that in. The brick and mortar is out of order. Because God has moved us from brick and mortar to click and order. And if you have not found out how to turn your phone into a cash machine, you are out of the will of God. But watch this. Artists, I'm coming to the artist. Y'all need to build your community together. And when you come together as a community, God will give you a song, gospel artist, for Black Life, and it will start a song, universal, that will be bigger than We Are the World.
Wow.
But y'all got to get on your faces before God. Because I can already hear the song coming down out of the heaven.
Oh, my God.
But they got to get on their face before God. If they get on their face before God, it will be a payday throughout the pandemic.
Only here on Larry Reid Live that we get this opportunity that, you know, in the business model, several thousands of dollars. But we just got it. I'm not going to say free, but we just got it. And I would say to any of you that are listening, that are watching, if good ground to sow in is this man. This is where I sow my teruma, and those of you that are patrons know what I'm talking about. And his ministry is where I give my tithe. And this is wonderful ground if you want to be a blessing to this man of God. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go take you to the website, bishopjordan.com. There's a donate button there, right?
Yes.
Bishop, do that go to you or to the ministry?
That goes to the ministry.
Well, we don't want to put it down. We want
I want you to put it there.
Put it in ministry. Okay. Bishop.
You know why?
Why?
You know why? Because they're going to get a call from a prophet that knows nothing about them, and they're going to record a prophecy and send it to them. Because some people that are listening to us right now are getting ready to get furloughed. August is going to be a big season of layoff across America. The president is going to seek to try to get one more major check released before November. And round about, I don't know why I'm looking towards the end of August, the reparation conversation is going to start to hit the main stage. It's going to start.
And sowing has a way of putting something in your future for those spaces and those places that will be lean. So go to bishopjordan.com and click the donate button, sign up. And what happens, the way that he has it set up, he has a whole group of prophets. So you'll receive a prophecy. So it's very important for you to take this opportunity to go to bishopjordan.com. And remember, from 9 o'clock, he already a minute late. From 9 o'clock to midnight, he's going to be on the line. He's going to continue to teach and prophesy, teach and prophesy. The number is on your screen, 515-604-9266. That's 515. Screenshot it so you can have it. You wake up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep, call into the thing. 515-6. I don't know the rest of it because he moved the picture.
515-604-9266. That's 515-604-9266.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting this platform. Now remember, go back and watch all 6 videos when Bishop Jordan was on with us. Go watch them so you can stay up to date and know what's going on. And make sure you're watching the post every day in the YouTube community and on Facebook. Because just like 2 or 3 days ago, before they said 8 feet, I told you guys to stay 8 feet apart. And I told Bishop in private, I said, Bishop, this thing is in my spirit so strong that it's 8 feet. And so now we see it now on the TV today. I saw what Donna Lawrence posted. I said, what? I said, CNN said that today? Yeah.
And you ain't got no business. Listen, Larry, hear me. You have no business singing in churches right now.
Ooh.
Think about that. No, why are you going to church if you can't sing? You have no business singing in church unless you're going to sing with a mask on. I mean, this is like really good. Why are you even there? The brick and mortar is out of order.
I hear that, Bishop.
Let let me let you go because we'll be on going another hour. Because see, what we're looking at the people we're looking at the leaders that are willing to lead the people over the cliff, not for the concern of the people, but only to get the money.
That's what Bloomer said Monday. He said that Monday.
Larry, my people, my people, my people. But in the book Written Judgment, go download it, bishopjordan.com or zoeministries.com. It's only $20 offering. But one of the things that we began to see in the book, it says there would be a plague that will be worse than the bubonic plague. Now you do your research on how many people died with the bubonic plague, and you tell me, are you ready for 30 million people plus dead as a result of this pandemic? Because it's coming.
It's coming. All right, thank you so much, Bishop Jordan. And we're gonna go off together. I ain't gonna let you go off and then I go off. Make sure you guys click like and you click share before you leave, and tell somebody about this program tonight. Every show that I've done this week, you need to watch. With Bishop Bloomer on Monday, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Actually, Bishop, I got to tell you what happened with that too. There's something that happened behind the scene with that's very, very awesome. And then we done a show. Had a couple gospel artists that sort of went online, and he done a rant, sort of like Leandro did, and from the Walls group, and that spawned 2 shows. You should go watch that too. And then of course tonight's show. All right, I'll talk with you later on. I love each and every last one of y'all. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text Larry Reid Live to 33222. That's the words Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222 and get notified when we go live. Become a member of the Patreon. Log on to LarryReidLive.com, click Patreon, sign up, download the Patreon app, and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
Yeah.